Today, my friends, we're going to teach you guys how to use Queen Charge Miner with this full breakdown on this attack strategy. This strategy is really strong, and it's capable of 3-starring a lot of different bases here at Town 11. All that and more in this video. As I said at the beginning of the video, we're going to be going over Queen Charge Miners. We're going to break this one down for you in order for you guys to understand when and where and really how to use this attack strategy. So the biggest thing is we're going to go by a step-by-step basis within this video. Just like this entire series on what we're doing is we are breaking this down step-by-step for the first one and then showing you guys about 2 to 3 other examples that will really help you guys use it on different base designs. Whether it be, an anti-2, anti-3, most of them here are going to be anti-3s, of course, but other than that, you guys should still be able to learn a lot from this. Now, one of the biggest things is when you're looking for a base design or for a base to hit with this, let's think about a couple things. For one, where is the CC? This is a big thing. This CC is always going to be something that's going to be continuously on your mind. What is in the CC? If it's a damage CC, it would definitely be more than likely that you would be using this attack, especially on a fresh hit. So if you notice that there's something like a Lava Hound, then and your attack fails, it might be best just to use a Mass Miner instead of a Queen Charge. But Queen Charge is really essential here. So we'll kind of talk about the Queen Charge a little bit within this one, just so that then you guys can understand it as we go through the entire video. So the biggest thing is, step 1 is to really, scout out the base. Where's the CC? And then where is value in relation to that? So where can we get the most jump value? So maybe somewhere here. This gives us access to the Eagle and to the CC. That gets us some good value. We can also get rid of the Bomb Tower and also the Wizard Tower. That's just more value there. So there's just a lot of good things in that little area that's right by the CC that we can deal with fairly easily. That's really going to be the main point I want to try to drive home with this. It's definitely dealing with the enemy CC and then just getting any other value if possible. Other than that, it's really simple. Now, the biggest thing as well is knowing when and really when to stop your Queen Charge. So, of course, we're going to be using the King in order to create the funnel. So we are going to kind of see that going in, and we'll kind of explain that as we get closer. Now, when you guys are using the Seige Barrack, if you have access to them, you're going to be dropping the Seige Barrack, at least on this base design, it was going to be around here. This way, you're cutting off the funnel here. So even if they continue to work down this way, which is fine, you'll actually have a cutoff that allows everything to sort of, create this funnel here that stops, the miners from ever trying to go over there, especially if you send them into this multi-inferno. That's really what you're trying to look for, as most of the time you don't want your miners to actually go onto the outside. It's just a big no-no, and you really want to make sure that you're getting the most amount of value from your miners as they move into the base. So it's still very simple. It's a very simple attack nonetheless. Those are basically the steps that you have to do. We'll kind of talk about spells as well as we go through this entire replay. But the biggest thing I want you guys to take away is how the Queen Charge is done. So you'll see that we do not have a baby dragon and we're not using the king. Instead, we are using a Mecha. And I do have a funneling video coming next week, next week. So I'm definitely looking forward to doing that. But specifically here, we've got 2 different units. So we've got the king up top creating the funnel for this queen. So once these 2 buildings are taken out, she's going to start stepping up. He'll move over here and he'll be able to easily clear those 2 structures, allowing the queen to sort of, not move that direction. Now the Mecha over here is working his way down. This way, what he's going to be able to do, or she is going to be able to do, is clear this bottom section here and then jump into the rest of the base with the Queen Charge going in. That's going to be the idea, and that's going to be the main focus from this entire example. So you'll see that what we're doing is we're just taking our time. With the king on red, we definitely do want to pop his ability. And you'll see that he is going to target the, all those. But notice how now, once he takes out that wizard tower, or once the queen takes out the wizard tower, then the king's going to move over to the mortar. And now those healers will not switch over. She was already taking constant damage. and because the king wasn't, or at least it wasn't in close proximity, he wasn't able to, you know, steal the healers. So you'll see that what's going on is we are going to be able to get a multi-inferno, but the biggest thing that we want to try and take away from this is dealing with the enemy CC. That is a big thing that we want to try and deal with in an attack like this. So definitely that is going to be extremely important. So you'll notice that we have two different funnels being set. We've got a funnel right here on the outside thanks to the Queen Charge and also to the Mecha. And then we also have a funnel over here being cut off here by the Seige Barracks. That's really important, as you never really know when and where to use this siege. So it's definitely really important to not more so use it up towards the top. Try to use it a little bit lower. That way you're cutting off a funnel rather than creating it. That way what you're able to do is actually have that funnel already set, so that then once they take out the last structure, then you don't really need to worry about it. So you'll see that what we're doing here is we're just splitting up that funnel. So once they go, you know, and take out the cannon, that was what I was trying to say, you know, now everything's going to start moving in. So that's the biggest thing that I want you guys to take away from this example. It's when you're cutting off something, just like you saw there, like a lot of those P.E.K.K.A.s and wizards, they went down this way. They continued to clear that funnel while they were working their way in like this. That is sort of the mindset that you guys need to have when you guys are using this. Now, of course, this is just like literally the first example, just going over this. But with heal spells, you want to make sure that you are placing them over those miners and possibly those hog riders as well if you decide to bring them, as they're going to be extremely useful in order to keep those miners alive as they trek on through. Rage spells, obviously, of course, to be used with the Queen and the Queen Charge, but then they can also be used with the miners to get a little bit of a added bonus, at least to their damage and then their swing speed as well. So there's a lot of things in there to cover, but that is basically a full breakdown of how you guys can use a Queen Charge Miners. But now let's go ahead and move on to a couple more examples. So we've got a different base design here. You'll notice that these sort of compartments here are definitely in the meta right now. So those are definitely, you know, something a little bit different. You'll also notice that this eagle right here can be shot down from this corner. As you can see from right here, since it goes right over that wall, that means that you can actually target it. So there's just a little bit of a couple things to sort of memorize from there. But just make sure that what you're doing is you are really scouting the base and taking a look at how each of these compartments are within a base. So we're looking at a different base design here. We're again looking for the enemy CC and then any value surrounding that area. That way we can still get some sort of a funnel made. One thing I noticed is that there is a hole within the base easily that allows us to lure out that CC with little to no effort, so we can use like something like an archer. So you'll see that what we're doing is we are again trying to cut off the funnel. So what we're doing is we have a wizard right behind the king, just so then that dictates his pathing. That's huge because in attacks like these, or really in any Queen Charge type of attack, you're typically going to try and use the wizard in order to direct your king to the next area. So you'll see that what we're doing on either side is making sure that we're cutting off funnels for our Queen Charge. So what we're doing here is we're using a baby dragon in order to clear that section. We use a cocoa loon to soak up any seeking air mines. That's always something that's really good to try out and do. So, but as we're working our way in, we're going to use a rage spell. This rage spell is going to allow us ourselves to get into the base, especially with 4 expos soon to be locking onto our queen. So that is going to be the big thing I want you guys to sort of take a look at within this example. It's that when you're dealing with an enemy CC, especially like this one, it's a lava hound, and then also being hit by 2 expos or even 3 expos, that's definitely a lot of DPS there, especially if the loon does connect onto your queen and does massive damage. So just definitely making sure that you are still getting enough value is the biggest thing. So the value that he was looking for here was the eagle and the expos. You saw in the last example as well, getting the eagle is a big thing. It's really going to depend on how the eagle is placed, but that is still a very important structure in minor attacks. You got to make sure that you're taking it out. That way what you're going to be able to do is clear through the rest of the base, mostly against the Infernos, but you're still trying to make sure that you're getting the value that you need to in order to 3-star on the right base. So you'll see that what we're doing is we're going to send in our miners this direction, so we're cutting off the funnel here. So what we're going to be able to do is have our P.E.K.K.A.s move down this direction in order to sort of continue the funnel, make sure that the miners stay on the inside of the base instead of going on to the outside. So you'll see that what we're doing is we are going to be starting to move our entire attack in, our miners. This is going to allow ourselves to get right up into the base in order to use the heal spells in order to keep those miners alive. On top of that, we also have Hog Riders from the Seige Barracks. This is going to allow ourselves to sort of have something that 1 can tank and 2 does massive damage to defenses, and it's just overall a huge help. So definitely if you are looking to use this attack, then I would say definitely bringing the Seige Barrack in terms of using something such as, like, Hog Riders, then that is definitely going to be a big thing here for you. So you really want to try and make sure that you are getting enough value from the base in order to sort of clear out a lot of different structures. So that's the biggest thing as far as I can say with this one. Making sure though that you are raging up your queen over the CC, queen, and possibly just to keep her alive. Those are going to be the big areas that you really need to sort of focus in on. So with that being said, now let's go ahead and move on to our final example that we have here for you guys. So we are looking at another different base. However, we may already notice that there is a large Inferno compartment. Now, very similar to this, you may see this a lot in things such as an island base. So if you are interested in using a hybrid or miner attack against a hybrid base with multiple of those compartments, then this is definitely going to be a really good strategy that you guys can try out. Of course, test out FCs before you move on into war, but definitely feel free to test it out in the friendly challenges in order to sort of get comfortable with Queen Charge Miners and just really a Queen Charge in general. So the biggest thing you guys need to take note of, for one, is of course we're going to be starting off with our Queen Charge again. What we're going to see again is we are going to try and cut off the funnel. But notice how we are not using our king just yet. Instead, we're going to be holding off on the king in order to get as much value as possible. So you'll see that now we've got maybe like a wizard or something like that on the other side. So you'll see that what we're doing is we're taking our time. We do want to charge over to the multi-inferno, but we're going to hold off because that is not going to be the next closest structure. It is going to be the mortar. So we are going to have to go ahead and skip that multi-inferno. However, what we can still do from this base is still be able to clear up defenses on that backside here. So what this allows us now to do is, since we already had this baby dragon completely go through this section, and we had the king go here, we have the queen charging into the base here. So what we've got now is we can send in our miners towards this defense. That's going to lead them in, and that's going to keep them in there for the longest amount of time. That's going to be the biggest thing that you guys need to sort of understand when you guys are sort of using this attack. So again, you'll see that we are dealing with another Lava Hound CC. However, like I showed you at the beginning of the video, dealing with a enemy CC that is a damage CC is really, really easy for this attack. More often than not, that's what you're going to be trying out and trying to use. So in this example here, you can see that what we're doing is we are just separating our miners here and allowing that Seige Barrack that's being placed up here close to 12 in order to clear out funnel here. This allows our miners to enter into there, save a couple miners for the multi-inferno, and that allows us to get right up into the base. So you'll see that what we're doing is we're going to pop our Grand Warden's ability. That's something I didn't mention before. The Grand Warden is definitely a huge help with this strategy. The Grand Warden, he offers that passive ability and also his regular ability, allowing you to sort of make troops invincible, but that even that little sort of health boost that he gives in general is always going to be such a huge help with this attack, as you're going to basically be able to clear through almost any base design, since, well, miners are still really, really strong. You can hold a lot of them, and they definitely do a lot of work. But with that being said, guys, I believe that is going to do it for this video. I hope you guys sort of got something out of this video in order to learn the Queen Charge Miners. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of this video and maybe any feedback or anything like that. Also, feel free to go ahead and sort of subscribe to the channel if you're new. Join the Corrupt fam. Feel free to also go ahead and hit the notification bell so you guys don't miss anything. And feel free to go ahead and follow me on Twitch and also Twitter and Instagram. All the links are in the description along with my header. And also feel free to go ahead and join my community Discord server, which is going to be a link in the description below. But with that being said, guys, that is going to do it for the video. Actually, hold on. Before we go, feel free to join any of the clans I'm covering down in the description below. But with that being said, guys, that's going to do it for the video. And I'll see you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.